pleasure to me all at last, and today we're at it with some more HJN Season 5. Now, for this instance, we're going to be taking a bit of a look at something that's deemed more negative towards other subjects. Oppression. Yeah, it's the feeling of cruel, unusual, and tumultuous punishment. The feeling of unjust control over your own life, or possibly others' lives. The thing is that it's a pretty negative vibe in contrast to many things that I've talked about over the years. And while I will say this is thankfully one of those cases in which that it doesn't correlate to anything that's similar or definitively identical. I've talked a lot about words with multiple definitions, whether it be adjective, verb, noun, etc. But in this case, we do have oppression somewhat referring to different ways by means of being a verb or noun or whatnot. The thing is, oppression is indeed a thing, which would by technicality make it a noun and not so much as a verb or otherwise. But oppression does stand a little more than just what it defines as. It's after all one of those words that, like many others we've gotten over the years, toxic, riots, and politics even. Those of course are all on the bits of negativity that somewhat keep us in balance. Because there of course is always the old quote by Seth MacFarlane. If I'm drunk, I'm a jerk. If I'm sober, I'm a douche. And so, when you really get down to it, the kind of dark, definitive meaning of life itself, it's not always going to be about butterflies, rabbits, grass, flowers, and a big blue sky over all that. There's always going to be something out there that darkens things. It's not at all going to be like how many of today's shows are just simply made so that children can enjoy them without ever having to fear or worry or have any sort of problem. It's not like back then where people had no idea what they were doing, and more often than not there was a lot of outrage and uproar against society. I mean, it really goes to show that progress has meant humanity had to go through a rather dark turn in history. Several of them even. But by this point, when some people are making the claims that today is much worse, they really just don't understand how people used to live. More often than not, they're badly misinformed, misled, propagandized, and even more so when you got feelings that nothing's going your way. But let's all remember here, we have such things that are bad, but we'll always have good to balance it out. Life be a more neutral spectrum. This kind of neutral spectrum is what people need after all. It cannot be good all the time, nor should it be bad all the time. You want a good, healthy balance in your lifetime. Enough said. And so, that's pretty much what that is. I feel like I've talked about oppression and many other things relating to negativity today. Probably a little more than necessary, but it was at least a good 4 minutes for me to eventually get on back to the higher segments of my life rather than dive down into the lower bits, because I've already had a lot to talk about based on negative sides of me. In any case though, tomorrow I'll have something different, and if you want to see more, go down to my channel, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, follow me wherever you can find me, and stay on the Hollywood side.